Coming up, we have a Closing Contractor Mystery Sound winner. Hooray! Well, how about this? We'll have a Closing Contractor Mystery Sound winner. Plus, we're going to be talking about why hot water freezes faster than cold water. I think we've got some answers for you. Plus, a most original, another one of those homes you've never seen before. We're going to Las Vegas this week on our Home Pros Radio Show news desk. It's all coming up in 1 minute on the Home Pros Radio Show.
The Home Pros Radio Show. Brought to you by Prime Lending. Home loans made simple. Welcome to the Home Pros Radio Show, the premier resource for the well-informed homeowner. With over 30 years of combined home inspection and renovation experience, your hosts, Tommy Donovan and Shane Hips, help you stay on top of your home improvement and home maintenance needs. Visit homeprosradio.com to access the trusted product and service providers that are a part of our Home Pros network. Find the Home Pros Radio Show on Facebook and Twitter for regular show updates and additional information on the topics covered on our show. To join the conversation, call 248-HOME-PROS. And now, your Home Pros, Tommy Donovan and Shane Hips.
And welcome to the Home Pros Radio Show. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections.
And I'm Shane Hips with Closing Contractor.
And this is your source for the advice, tips, and tricks that every homeowner needs to make sure your home is in the best shape possible. So we got some interesting things to talk about this week. We've got, what do we have? We've got an interesting house coming up on our news desk. I teased that. We also have another news story. We have an eagle flying into a house, another animal story. I guess I kind of gave that away, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Plus, I've got some answers. We've talked about it multiple times on the show. Do you have your physics story?
Oh yeah, I can shoot that one from the hip.
Okay,
it left a lasting memory.
Did it?
It was like because I felt like an idiot.
Made you feel dumb?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to that. Any chance to make you feel dumb, Shane?
It definitely did it that day.
But this week, first, we're going to cover this. It's
the Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
Please listen carefully.
Do we know what that is, folks? Well, guess what? We had somebody call in with the answer, and let's see if we can get him on the line really quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Paul. Is it Paul Adwar? Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, great. Thanks for calling in, Paul. So you actually called in last week with the answer to our mystery sound. What was it?
It was a smoke detector with the battery test.
There we go. Excellent. So thankful for anyone who calls in with an answer because we get sick of hearing them every week.
Just like people get sick of hearing the smoke detectors chirp in their own house.
Right.
Battery style.
Absolutely. So, Paul, you're a home.
Now, you guys have a great show.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you listening. Now, you're calling in from Discover Bay, California. Is that what it is?
Correct. Yeah, it's in the San Francisco Bay Area, about 30 miles out of San Francisco.
Nice. I bet we just covered a house in your area. You probably saw it on the news there. Being a home inspector in that area, you probably heard about the story about was it the worst house on the best block? Do you recall that story?
We have that. Yeah. Oh, yes, we have those.
I'm going to reach over here and see if I can find that real quick. Let's see. So, yeah, you do have some beautiful homes out there.
Yeah, there's some sections of Discovery Bay that are on what we call fast water. That's, of course, the speedboats come in. Gorgeous area, but the homes, some of them haven't been renovated in the past 30 years. Wow. You feel like you're stepping back in time.
Well, this house was in the Noe Valley neighborhood. Is that how you say it?
Noe Valley? Yeah, that's not near Discovery Bay, though.
Okay, that's like more in San Francisco
that's
proper.
More
right?
down south.
I gotcha. Good deal.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out there. So you've been inspecting in that area for how long? 10 years or so, I think I saw?
It's, a little over 10 going on 11 years.
Is there anything that you would say that you find is unique to the homes that you inspect out there that might be different than some of us on the other coast or in other parts of the country?
To tell you the truth, this is the only coast that I've done inspections on, so I can't really address that fully. But I do see some strange things. I try to post it on my Instagram page, but that's under 21st Century Home Inspection.
Great.
But I found one house where they were using a rim from a tire, 2 concrete sacks of concrete, and the actual tire itself to hold up part of the foundation.
Oh yeah, that's perfect for a foundation jack.
I thought
Tire
that was
rim pier. Interesting.
You use what you got, right?
Hopefully none of those sacks of concrete were leaking, because then your whole house starts tilting.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely it would. And so you're owner of 21st Century Home Inspections.
That is correct, sir.
Yeah, right. And you also own a fitness center. Is that true?
I thought that I could get behind that. I found it very hard to get the people to come into the actual gym, so I kind of abandoned that. With COVID, of course, going on, everybody's very skeptical about being around other people. So, and especially sweating, which I didn't take that into account. So I was partnered with somebody, and basically I sold off my share, interest in the business to him. But what I did take up was I used to do videography for years, and so I started back doing 3D virtual homes, and I got the software and the hardware, and it's really been exciting. It's really been fun.
So do you do that for like real estate listings and things like that?
Correct. Yeah, I do it for sellers, and I also have a person. I don't do it myself, but I have a person that does drones. And so what we'll do is we'll get an aerial view of the home, and then we'll fly the drone into the home, and then we'll do cutaways to the Matterport 3D home virtual tour.
That's interesting. Flying a drone
into the home.
That
would scare me. I'd run right into a wall.
It takes some skill.
You'd get a close up of some wall in there if I was doing it.
Here's a good look at the wallpaper in the living room.
I would do.
and now there's a nice dent.
Thing. That's why I have a guy.
No, I've learned. I've tried to fly drones, and I've learned that they require quite some skill, some practice in order to get it right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I originally bought a drone. It wasn't too expensive. It was just a few $100, and I flew it into a field that the field was inaccessible to get to. So pretty much my drone is just sitting in a field somewhere out in Discovery Bay, and
that's horrible.
I got the remote control though. I was able to keep the remote control, but the poor drone is just sitting out there. So now I.
You can get another drone, maybe with a claw on it, and it'd be sort of like playing that claw game.
Claw game.
You can just fly out there and see if it can pick it up and bring it back. Then you'd be down 2 drones.
Either that, or get fishing reel and attach it to a fishing pole, and so when it crashes somewhere and you can't reach it, just kind of reel that baby in.
Oh yeah, that'd be a way to do it, like a kite string almost.
That'd be one way, but yeah. I see it getting away from me, and it's like, okay, baby, you're coming back, and just reel her in. No, I have a guy that does just drones for a business, and so I basically subcontract that out. And as far as flying it into the home, it's just the doors, both doors are open, and he just flies it in nice and slow. And we even do a slow-mo on it, and then do a cutaway to the actual 3D tour. So it's kind of interesting and fun. And as far as the home inspection, I love it. I love doing home inspection. It's just such a fun job. I don't even look at it like a job.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've always liked about it is no 2 days are the same.
Right.
There's always
And no
something
two
different.
homes are the same.
And you never stop saying, "Wow, I've never seen that before."
That's new. That's a
In
new one.
fact, that brings us to our photo for the field this week, which we'll talk about after we get off the phone. Yeah, you never stop saying, "God, I've never seen that before," or having to look to other experts for answers. There's always something more to learn. So now, let me ask you
That's
this,
it. That's
Paul.
it.
Paul, are you
Sure.
are you a member of any of the home inspector associations that are out there?
I'm a member of Internachi,
Okay.
and recently, about 6 months ago, I got certified by the California Association of Realtors, CAR,
Okay.
which has really been a big plus because they're an extremely large association, almost like the National Association of Realtors, NAR, and they hold a lot of weight. So it gives us instant credibility just having that affiliation with them and having that their recommendation, their certification. We've gone through their testing and through their insurance requirements and just a whole gambit of things that we needed to do for them. So yeah,
That's so good
So
that they
we
have that
tried
out
to
there.
do.
Because there's so many associations
Yeah,
you could be
it
a
is.
member of by just signing up, but it sounds like they have
Right.
like they're a third party that just to make sure that hey you're no slouch, if you will, and that's what I always
Right,
tell folks
right.
who call in who are looking for prices. I'm always like, hey, prices are one thing, but just make sure that you get somebody who has done their homework and does their continuing education and all those
Right.
things that these associations encourage you to do. So.
Save 100 to spend the extra 10,000 or so.
Yeah, yeah. So this is
Well,
folks.
I
yeah,
had-
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I had a couple today that, they were trying to nickel and dime me and, tell me, oh, they found someone that does it for this price, which was like $200 lower than mine. I said, well, then maybe those are the people to go with. But, you like the expression, you get what you pay for,
Yeah.
and if you want champagne, but you have a beer budget, it's probably not going to work out for you. And, it's good to know. And they also fingerprinted me because they have to make sure, if they're certifying you, they really know who you are. They do a full background check, criminal. They run your credit score. They did everything. So, but it was fine because I had nothing to hide. I said, you know what, scan me. I've had a lot of jobs. I'm also a realtor, and so for that, I had to have live scan, and my fingerprints are on file with Department of Justice and the FBI. And so, yeah, they're a great organization, and I love being part of it, and they've helped me tremendously.
Excellent. Well, this is Paul Adwar with 21st Century Home Inspection in Discover Bay, California. That just sounds beautiful. Hey, were you bummed about the 49ers? Are you a 49ers fan?
49ers, that's it.
Yeah. They almost made it. Mm-hmm. They almost made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, but
Yeah, what do you do?
maybe next year, right? But
Maybe next year. We'll have to hope.
another question I wanted to ask you is: do you happen to know a realtor by the name of Megan
Sure.
Rogers, by any chance?
Name sounds a little familiar, but not personally, though.
From
no.
Realty One Group, Realty One Group Zoom.
Well, you
is
know
the name
what?
of the company.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
the only
No,
reason,
not in particular.
the only reason why I'm asking is because she's my cousin and she lives out there, and you guys are in the same market.
Oh, okay.
I'll have
just a shot at
just
it.
to give a little plug to Megan as well. Hey, I'm gonna let her know. Here's a home inspector you can work with.
There you go.
Out there. So and now that I know that you've been fingerprinted and background checked,
Oh, yeah.
you'll be safe, or
There you
everyone
go.
will be safe.
I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm safer than the mask.
I kind of wish they'd do that out here. I did a home inspection yesterday. It was a 5,000 square foot home, and I guess it was the seller was insisting that a realtor be there the entire time, and I felt so bad because I mean it takes me about 5 hours or so to get through a house that size, and I felt like I was holding up their day.
Right.
They actually worked in shifts. One of her assistants came
They
in and-
rotated out.
I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all had to do this.
Go on your lunch break.
I know, right? Y'all can really trust me. I really. So anyway, but Paul, thanks again for calling in,
Well,
and he's the latest winner.
You're welcome, definitely.
Yeah, of our Closing Contractor Mystery Sound. We'll see if we can scrounge up one of these Home Pros Radio Show mugs. I'm showing to the camera here and get it out to you, and we appreciate you being a part of
I was
our
gonna
audience.
I was going to ask for a trip to Fiji, but a mug is just as good.
Oh yeah,
We just ran out of the trips to
yeah,
Fiji.
we did.
Yeah, last week.
Man, day late, a dollar short.
Yeah, that's it. That's Paul Adwar, 21st Century Home Inspection. I'll give out the number real quick, 925-324-1296. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And how about your website?
It's 21, not 21st, because it was already taken. 21centuryhomeinspection.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's the one thing I didn't have written down on my show prep. So, Paul, thanks again for calling and being a part of the show.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, take care. So, awesome. You know what that means, Shane? We're going to have to get us another one. Another
sound?
Yeah, another sound.
I guess so.
What do you think we could do? I think I've got one rigged
You about to
up
throw
here.
one out there right
Should
now?
I? Should we give it a try? See if anyone can get this one. Here it is. It's the
Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
Please listen carefully.
This one might be a little bit. Oh, it's not there. Shoot, it was supposed to be there, and it disappeared on me. I tell you what, we'll come back on after the next break, and we'll get it in there. It disappeared from my button bar. In the meantime, we want to talk about this. I want to follow up on. We're talking
We
about
haven't put the
things-
number out either.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and give the
So
number.
we don't have a mystery sound for you to call and guess, but if you have
tell you
anything
what.
you got to say, let's give us a call at 248-466-3776.
And if you know the answer to this,
The photo from the field.
What are you looking at? I know what I'm doing.
did you see? This is our photo from the field that usually we'll post up there and go, hey, you know what this is? And then next week we'll tell you what it is. This is the first time in our, 4 years or so doing this show that everyone has been like, I have no idea.
No one knows.
So if anyone knows what this is, this little water main, it's insulated, so it's kind of hard to see, but there's this coiled up copper line attached to the water main, and it's insulated. I have no idea. So I just wanted to follow up on that because we've teased it a couple of times, and I really thought I'd find an answer, but have not been able to do so. And if I do find one, if you guys call, you can call in or send us an email, ask@homeprosradio.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'll get you that answer.
Yeah, there's something going on
It's
there.
on my to-do list.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe because the bonding wire right there goes to the bonding clamp.
Yeah,
so
they've got that
But that
bonding
little
wire.
wire coming out, I'm not sure what all they got going on there. You know, we're actually going on 5 years.
5 years.
Yep, in
April.
April 1st, because
April
our
Fool's
very
Day.
first show was on April 1st.
That's right. Oh, man.
5 years.
That's some crazy luck. April 1st, April Fool's Day. So anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have see if we can get a mystery sound going. Plus, we're going to talk about, we've got one thing we do have answers to are the reasons why your hot water freezes before your cold water. It's pretty interesting. We'll be right back with that on the Home Pros Radio Show. If you're a home service provider who takes pride in your work and strives to be recognized as a trustworthy professional in your industry, the Home Pros Radio Show wants to hear from you.
Become a Home Pros Radio Show partner. Send us an email at ask@homeprosradio.com.
Your Home Pros Radio Show Expo listing and your featured appearances on our podcast are just the beginning when it comes to the ways that we can help brand your business on the Home Pros Radio Show.
It's a great opportunity. It's just an email away. Ask@homeprosradio.com.
One of the Home Pros Radio Show partners that makes this show possible is Carolina Heating Service. We'd like to invite you to give them a call. They are a near you company. And you know, when your heating and air system breaks down, it usually happens right when you need it, does it not?
Oh, yeah. It's always the worst times.
And that's why Carolina Heating Service came up with the Carolina Comfort Club, where there are two ways to be a member. You have the Comfort Plan and the Comfort Plus plan. Whichever plan you have, they'll come out to your house at least a couple times a year and make sure everything's running right. At the start of the heating season, at the start of the cooling season, to make sure that you're not hit with any of those
Unforeseen.
inconvenient situations that could pop up with your heating and air system. So give them a call. Here's the number. It's 800-261-0359. You can also find them online at carolinaheating.com. It's Carolina Heating Service. They're a near you company. Thank you for watching the Home Pros Radio Show. And, of course, our show is brought to you from the studios of Prime Lending. It's our Prime Lending studio, right?
They're the big title sponsor.
Yeah, and all of this talk about building and maintaining your home doesn't mean much if you don't have the funding to make it happen. And that's why we like to invite you to call Prime Lending. They got offices all around the country for you, but if you're right here in the South Carolina area, give Mark Hawkins a call. Here's his number. It's 864-349-0160. When it comes to getting the funding you need, Prime Lending makes the process easy and personal. Websites and 800 numbers, man, they can lend you money, but are they going to sit down with you face-to-face and actually give you the products that you need? Because there's so many options.
There's something to be said to be face-to-face with someone instead of just talking to them over the phone or emails or whatever. Yeah, something to be said for that.
Absolutely. So give Prime Lending a call if you're remodeling your home, you're purchasing your dream home, or just need a cash-out refinance. That's another option that they can help you out with and sit down with you face-to-face. 864-349-0160. If you're in the upstate South Carolina or South Carolina area, period, give Mark Hawkins a call. And wherever you are in the country, there's a Prime Lending office near you. Of course, with Prime Lending, buying and refinancing your home is simple, fast,
and hassle-free.
That's it. And welcome back to the Home Pros Radio Show. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections, and I find stuff.
And I'm Shane Hips with Closing Contractor, and I fix stuff.
Didn't realize I had my glasses on still. I look like an old man.
Trying to look smart. Trying to look smart. That's why I wear glasses.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
It ain't working.
Well, we're going to try to be smart in this segment because we're going to talk about a pretty difficult topic. But before we get to that difficult topic, I want to go to this topic. Since last segment we had Paul Adwar actually guess our photo or our mystery closing contractor mystery sound. Got another one.
The Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
Please listen carefully.
Listen carefully. Here we go. What is this noise? That one's a fun one. It's one of the first ones we ever did.
Sound like something about to fall apart.
Yeah. Anybody know what it is?
Give us a call at 248-466-3776.
That translates to 248 Home Pro. You can also shoot us an email, ask@homeprosradio.com. Make sure you follow us on social media at Home Pros Radios, where you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we're going to get more active on some of those platforms because I'm starting to learn how to use them correctly.
Good
finally.
job. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just mention the fact that we topped 6,000 downloads this month.
We did. We
Last
absolutely
month,
did.
What in December was our first time topping 5,000. January we topped 6,000.
Yeah.
So our numbers are climbing.
So thank you so much, everyone, for liking and sharing and commenting. Folks like Paul calling in to answer our mystery sound. You guys are you're the ones making this show. If you guys weren't listening and a part of this, Shane and I could talk to each other sitting here.
we can sit here and do
all this fancy equipment, right?
In the studio.
Yeah. So we'd like to the studio, the Prime Lending Studio.
Yes, that's where we are every week.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to Prime Lending for hooking us up. Mark Hawkins with Prime Lending. Okay, so we have a topic that seems to come around every year. And we always toss it around, but we never get to the bottom of it. We're going to try this year.
Okay.
So it's winter, and things are freezing. And we're going to be talking next week about freezing pipes. And, how to, where you need to insulate and how to insulate. We got some tips from, what is it? I forgot the source. It's not the EPA, but the whoever does energy, about
The energy people.
Yeah, about how to properly insulate our pipes and things like that. We always find that in every region of the country, folks end up running into damage because of frozen pipes. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we always talk about every year, never answer, is did you know that hot water freezes before cold water?
Yeah,
we learned that.
I always heard that, and I've had different. Well, I mean, I said last week that I encountered a physicist one time in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and
tell me the physicist story.
I'm gonna give you my side of this, and then we'll get into whatever else we have. But yeah, I was well, first of all, I didn't know the person. The first time I ever met this gentleman, I was at his house.
Yeah.
And looking at all kind of renovations that he was planning on doing on the house and all this, and we went into. And I noticed he was about my age, and he was retired. So I was like, oh, this guy did something. You know, he was pretty good at something because, you know, he retired sort of early, you know, whether it was investing or whatever, you know. And we went in. We were talking. Somehow we got talking about the water heater and how hot water freezes faster than cold water. Mm-hmm. I'm the one that said that. I said hot water freezes faster than cold water. He looked at me like, what are you talking about? You know, just sort of gave me a look. I said, I don't know. It's something about the physics of it. He said, that's funny. 'Cause he said, I'm a physicist, and I don't believe that. And I was like, okay. So at that point in time, since I'm sitting here trying to educate a physicist on physics, I decided just to shut up.
Give up. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well, enough of that topic.
I'm not even getting into this. And his argument makes sense. He said it doesn't make sense because if hot water in the process of going from hot to frozen, it's got to pass that same temperature at
Correct.
some point in time.
Absolutely.
Of the other water. Mm-hmm. So that was his argument. And I was like, I don't
So
know.
his argument, here's the deal. This is, okay, this is perfect.
I'll tell you what I chalked it up to. I chalked it up to, okay, it must be minerals from the water heater in my mind, because he sort of convinced me with what he said that, okay, that what he says makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe there's minerals in the water heater that actually causes that water to freeze faster.
Yes. That there's some,
But I'm assuming there's other experiments that have been done, like maybe having a glass of hot water and cold water or whatever.
That would be a good experiment. And that's one of the things when I was writing my notes up for this, I was thinking, dang, I wish I would like to get 2 ice cube trays, one filled with hot water and one filled with cold water, stick them in and see which one freezes first.
And what you would need to do is get them both from the cold side of the tap and just heat it up on the stove. Because if not, that water has gone through the water heater and it would have whatever.
Yeah.
If my theory makes any sense.
But
we were all over the place.
Either way, if you're trying to prove if your
We're
hot
Mr.
water side
Wizard
or cold water side
Ed
freezes
Nye.
first, you'd still want to use your hot water side water.
Right. Yes. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, so the argument
Home Pros
of the-
radio show turned into Ed Nye the Science Guy.
So yeah, so the argument is the same. The argument that physicists had is the same one that was constantly brought up in some of these websites that I was researching.
Okay.
They were even actually starting off by going, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And the way they were looking at it is they were looking at it from the distance standpoint. So, all right, so if you have hot water and cold water and they still have to get to the same freezing point to freeze,
Right.
you're looking at, I'm equating that to distance. They still have the same number of degrees to go. If you're taking the distance between here and here, right?
Yeah.
But what I had explained to me is there's a difference between that distance and the speed of getting to that distance.
Okay.
With hot water, you get to that freezing point faster, thanks to an effect called the. I have to look at this.
There you
It's
go.
called
You
the
can look at it on screen.
Impemba Effect.
Impemba.
That's what I learned about today. The Impemba Effect. So what is that? Well, it says the hot water can freeze before cooler water under certain conditions. The Impemba Effect occurs when 2 bodies of water with different temperatures are exposed to the same sub-zero surroundings, and the hotter water freezes first. Now, Where did this come from? It's called the Impemba Effect, named after Tanzanian high school student. Now, talk about an overachiever.
Yeah.
He has something named after him that is.
High school already has it named.
I had a hard enough time passing physics and chemistry. All right, so his name is Erasto Impemba. He first observed this phenomenon in 1963, so it's been around a while.
Okay.
And enough with the notifications. So he was doing an experiment where he was making ice cream for a school project.
Okay.
And he was told to boil the milk and then let it cool before putting it in the refrigerator. Well, he was fearful of losing his place in the fridge, I guess. He put his mixture in the fridge first while it was still hot.
Okay.
And he found that it froze faster than the other cooled mixtures.
I guess that would be pretty fascinating if you just happened to notice that. Be like, oh, God.
And
Anybody
that's
notice this?
that's what started the whole, let's get to the bottom of this. So there are three different scenarios in which this could happen. All right, so
Okay.
the first theory involves the evaporation.
There you go.
Right, if you start with hot water, if it's hot water, some of that hot water is going to evaporate.
Okay.
So some of that is going to disappear. If you have the same amount of cold and hot water, if the hot water's there, the first theory is some of that's going to evaporate.
So
in
now
the
you have
end-
less water to cool.
Correct. So
Okay.
that's why it freezes faster, right?
Okay.
Evaporation, and I'm going to read directly from these articles, which come from Physics World and Live Science. This isn't my amazing brain coming up with this.
So don't blame us.
Various sources out there. Evaporation is the strongest candidate to explain the Impemba effect, is what these articles said. As hot water is placed in an open container, it begins to cool. The overall mass decreases as some of the water evaporates.
Okay.
With less water to freeze, the process can take less time. Okay.
Okay, but
But
I don't buy it. I don't buy it
Okay.
because...
Okay. Well, that's one scenario that
Okay.
could explain it. I think what they were talking about is, okay, it's called the Impemba effect. And they're like, well, how do you explain it? Well, this was one way of explaining it away. Well, because the hot water, some of that hot
So
water
now you have-
evaporates.
So what if you just put less water? I mean...
Okay.
Okay.
Well, see, I read that and I thought, well, that doesn't explain why hot water pipes would freeze faster
Right.
because they're enclosed.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah. So the next theory is that there may be less dissolved gas in the warmer water,
Less dissolved gas. Okay.
which can reduce its ability to conduct heat, allowing it to cool faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
That
So
one,
we have-
I think that one makes more sense than the first one.
correct. Because it's kind of like your theory behind the minerals.
Right.
Causing the water to cause fast. So you don't have any gas in the hot water that would slow down the cooling process. Again, we're not talking about the distance from one temperature to the other. It's the speed in which it takes us to get from that one distance to the other. So there are less things that are in the way. You don't have other mixtures,
Right.
things like gas. And I guess I'm thinking about it this way. If you're running a heat pump, you're compressing gas in order to get cool air.
Right.
If that gas is compressed, I'm about to blow my
going
brain
backwards.
up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
This is
maybe we should just have a physicist on.
We need to get Ed and I in here.
Yeah. Okay, so here's our next theory. Different temperatures. I like this one. I
Okay,
think
let's
this one
hear
does
this
a
one.
good job. So what happens with cold water, it's all cold, and then it gets frozen, okay? Now, what happens, we talk about this a lot with building physics.
Yep.
If you have two extreme temperatures, what's going to happen?
Condensation.
You're going to get movement. You're going to get a convection current.
Okay.
As hot naturally travels to cold, you're going to get movement. Hot water rises to the top of a container before it escapes, displacing the cold water beneath it and creating what's called a hot top. hot and
Right.
cold. But you're also causing a convection current because as that warmer water rises, that cooler is going to drop down naturally, causing a convection current, make up water. We always talk about make up air and things like that. These currents are a popular form of heat transfer in liquids and gases. This is why I was thinking about condenser units and HVAC earlier. Things like this occur in the ocean and also in radiators to warm a chilly room. With the cooler water at the bottom, this uneven temperature distribution creates convection currents that accelerate the cooling process. That's
Okay.
the theory on this one.
I got you.
Temperatures of the hotter water can drop at a faster rate than the cooler water. Because since there's more movement, there's more heat transfer or heat loss because of that movement. Like cold water sits there at one.
But what about when it gets to the same temperature as the other water?
I think it's because you already have the momentum.
You already
that
had the
convection
momentum
current.
going to its
Yeah.
own.
So
Okay.
these are the thoughts. Well, tell me what y'all think if y'all listening to this. I'd like to know your thoughts.
I'm going with less
This is a
dissolved
very
gas.
difficult concept to grasp, and I find it fascinating.
It is. It's we could just start doing all kind of experiments and try to see exactly which one of these technically.
But these are the reasons why, like I said, the next time, I might go home this week, or maybe not tonight, but sometime this week for next show, I'm going to do the ice cube tray test.
Yeah.
But this is maybe the reason why some people say you want to wash your car with cold water and not hot water, especially in cold temperatures, because the water will freeze.
Okay.
In northern climates, they'll say that. Don't use hot water because it'll freeze. That's also why if you're flooding a skating rink, they'll use hot water.
If you're flooding a skating
A
rink.
skating rink should be flooded with hot water because it'll freeze more quickly.
Okay.
So those are apparently common practices in these industries. So and that's what was shared on these websites.
Yeah.
So
And I guess I have dumped hot water on the windshield before because I didn't have anything to scrape it off because we don't get ice that much
And then
here.
it freezes.
And it freezes. And then I got a bigger problem than what I started with. So I guess technically I've done that.
yeah, there were some other really cool pictures that I was kind of as I was messing around on the internet of people who would go out in frigid temperatures and they would toss a bucket of hot, like boiling water into the air and it would freeze in the air.
Right.
Stuff like that. Some really cool stuff. We'll have to share some of those photos next week, maybe. So that's the best I can do, folks, to grasp, to try to grasp. I hope I helped you understand why.
We might want to explain why we even got into
and
all
the reason
of this.
why we got into this.
I mean, because it is the Home Bros radio show. We just went into the physics and
Well, we're trying
there
to
is
talk
a reason
about
we're talking about this.
the importance of protecting your water pipes from freezing. And we have had multiple plumbers on the show before. I'd love to have Carl on again to talk about it too, from KT Plumbing. And they've even said in their experience, it's always the hot water lines that freeze first, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why we're trying to get down to the crux of it all.
and some people think they need to insulate their cold line, but then not worry so much about their hot line. But
and
the
it's-
hot
that's
line's
the one that
freezing.
freezes. So so we're going to talk about how to prevent that from happening next week. What lines to insulate? What type of there are different types of insulation you want to use in different applications, which I didn't know about, and we'll be sharing that next week on the Home Pros Radio Show. We even be talking about how to handle it when your pipes do freeze. What's the best way to recover from that? Because it's not when they freeze that the damage occurs, right?
Correct. It's when it thaws.
That's right.
That is correct. That's when you see it.
Yep. And by then it's too late. So it won't be too late if you hang around and join us next week for that conversation. But right now we're going to take a break and we're going to get back here in the Prime Lending Studio and we're going to talk. We're going to visit the news desk. We're going to talk about one of the coolest homes that I would like to have a tour of.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
It's out in Las Vegas. We'll be right back after this. Thanks for watching the Home Pros Radio Show. You know, Shane and I would love to know what you think of the show, so we'd like to invite you to leave us a review.
At the Home Pros Radio Show, it's our goal to keep homeowners entertained, inspired, and informed. So let us know how we're doing.
Your review helps us ensure that we're including the content you want to hear and that we're reaching out to more homeowners just like you.
So click on that review button and tell us what you think.
Your relationship with your home is an emotional one. Your home provides a sense of pride for you and your family. Through ongoing training, past experience, and current technology, RIC Home Inspections can provide you with the most reliable and accurate information available so you can enjoy the rewards of your home ownership. Call RIC Home Inspections at 235-5505 or visit us online at richomeinspections.com. That's 235-5505. RIC Home Inspections. Love where you live.
Every week, the Home Pros Radio Show news desk is brought to you by Pro Carpet Repairs. Pro Carpet Repairs offers a wide variety of cleaning service, carpet care services, all kinds of things for your flooring in your house. So if you're a landlord, if you're looking to sell your home, or you're just simply a homeowner who needs to revamp the look and feel of your carpeting, Pro Carpet Repairs, Adam and Samantha Prohl, the owners, can provide the service that you need, whether it's damaged carpeting that needs to be.
I always like to concentrate on the repairs.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the name.
Carpet protection, carpet stretching.
Yeah.
No
They do
need
all kind
to,
of stuff.
Yeah, no need to rip everything out and replace it. Just give Adam and Samantha Prohl a call, and they'll come out and revamp it. Here's a number, 864-569-9366. You can also find them online at procarpetrepairs.com. The Home Pros Radio Show is brought to you in part by Screen Mobile of the Piedmont. Established in 1982, Screen Mobile National has been around that long, and they're the nation's largest screen installation and repair company. They offer many different options for windows, screens, whether it's a corporate location or even a home residential location. They can bring their mobile units out to you and repair your screens, replace them, or even create a whole outdoor environment that you can use to keep the bugs out with their screens.
I've always been impressed with the tent one, the one
Yeah.
that keeps your siding from melting or your neighbor's siding from melting.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's saying tint with an I to help cool things down. Yeah, for those of you who are not in the
Not
South.
from South Carolina.
Exactly. And that'll protect, some of your outdoor building products like your siding from melting. That's a good point. I never
It's
even
not
thought
always a
about that.
grill. It can't be a window.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So give Screen Mobile a call. There's a Screen Mobile in your area. You can visit them online at screenmobile.com. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina, call Screen Mobile of the Piedmont, 864-641-7476. And welcome back to the Home Pros Radio Show. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections.
And I'm Shane Hips with Closing Contractor.
Did we do the fine stuff?
You did
Or
that a
were
minute
you-
ago.
Oh, no, it's home improvement like you've never heard before, especially if you haven't heard this.
The Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
Please listen carefully.
Look out. Can you tell us what this is? Give us a call.
It's 248-466-3776.
Paul Adwar called in and let us know of our beeping smoke detector.
Yep.
So we were able to get... Oh, I meant to ask him if he ever does inspections and has to deal with that for 3 hours.
Yeah, listen to it the whole time you're in the house.
So thanks so much for Paul Adwar calling it 21st Century Home Inspections. He's out there near San Francisco in California. And very, very good.
And I want to clear up that
Last segment we were talking about science.
It was brought to my attention that I kept saying Ed Nye, not Bill Nye. Bill Nye is actually who I was talking about. Bill Nye, the science guy. Ed Nye is actually a bagpipe instructor, and he also writes books on bagpipe. Oh, I didn't know you got a sound over there.
Is that Ed Nye?
I don't know. But yeah, I used to play the bagpipes, and actually he was an instructor at a camp I went to one time, so that's why that name Ed Nye kept coming out.
That
instead
is
of Bill Nye.
funny. But now, tell me, how did you get into doing bagpipe? We all have our silly, stupid
Our
hobbies. Not stupid. I shouldn't call them stupid.
Yeah,
we have our hobbies that we've tried.
And mine was out of the blue. I mean, I started honestly, I heard a song on the radio, and it wasn't even bagpipes. It was like a fiddle. but it just had a sound to it
That you really liked?
that I liked, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go play the bagpipes. So I went and ordered me some, and thought I was gonna sit there and teach myself to play the bagpipes, and I realized real quick that I'm not gonna teach myself to play the bagpipes. So then I had to go through this whole process. I had to get a practice chanter, and because you have to learn the tunes on something almost like a recorder.
Yeah.
So you learn it on a recorder, so your fingers know where to go when you start playing it, because you got too many other things to think about once you start playing it on.
Are the
pipes.
fingerings on a recorder the same?
No,
No.
it's not the same,
similar.
but it's a similar instrument. You know, like if you see someone with something that looks sort of like that, but it's called a practice chanter.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I kept saying Ed Nye earlier, but then Claire pointed out, she said, "Are you talking about Bill Nye?" I was like, "Okay." I was saying the wrong name the whole time.
And I just ignored that name because I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of Bill?
I'm not a fan of Bill. I'm more of a fan of my favorite TV science guy, Beekman.
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 Is that on the Muppets?
No. Now I can see why you would think that.
Beaker or whatever.
Beekman's World. God, that was a good show.
I don't know that. I remember Mr. Wizard.
You remember Mr. Wizard? He was on Nickelodeon. See, I wasn't able to. We were poor when I grew up a poor white kid. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
We just never had Nickelodeon, and I always wanted to watch Mr. Wizard. I thought he was cool, but instead I watched this show, which some of you guys remember. This. It's. Do you remember the? Well, you never saw it, did
Put the
you?
tube on there, will you, Herb?
Oh, there's never anything new on TV,
Those
Don.
are-
Hey, at least we can warm our feet.
Yeah,
from
this
it.
is the two penguins talking
Oh, okay.
at
Seen
the beginning of the
it.
show, and then they bring in.
Seen it.
King Kong of knowledge.
Where's the theme? There it is. So that's the theme. Beekman's World. Not around anymore. But man, did he care? He actually, some of our, I used to go back and watch a few of his shows to get ideas on what we can cover on our show. I should probably do that again.
Yeah, I've never
Because he
seen
talked
that
about,
one.
he would do things like, well, how does a toilet flush and all this other stuff. It's super cool. So anyway, enough nostalgia. You know what it's time to get to?
Our
'Cause
news desk.
we don't have a whole lot of time. It's time to get to our weekly segment of the... This is the Home Pros Radio Show News Desk. And we've got some fun stories this week. First of all, we're getting patriotic with our first story.
Okay.
All right. This is a bald eagle crashed into the front window of a Pennsylvania home. Poor guy.
Okay.
Look at him in the front yard. This is another house versus animal story. We get these every week. Let's see. Police found the front window of a home shattered. The bald eagle on the ground just standing there. Oh, yeah.
Little concussion.
Yeah. Police contacted a wildlife expert to come, collect the bird, but flew off before they arrived. So apparently the eagle was okay. It was okay enough to fly away. So
I don't guess there's any reason to catch him then if he can fly.
no.
He probably
But-
ain't thinking very clear.
No, he probably wasn't. So, Kathy, a wildlife expert who was called in, she's the director of the Pocono Wildlife Rehabilitation and Education Center. They should come up with a shortened version of that.
I would make it an acronym.
Yeah. So her name is Kathy. Oh wait, I got my volume turned down.
Bueller. Here.
Kathy
Bueller.
Euler.
Okay.
Bueller.
Wow, that was a long way to go for a dumb joke.
God, you-
All right,
you
so
stretched
Kathy
there.
Euler says more than likely the poor eagle was seeing a reflection of the sky or simply thought the eagle could fly right through it. That's a big old... You have a window like that in the front of your house.
Yeah. But it's got those
It's not
diamond
cheap
patterns.
to replace.
Oh, God, you should see the windows we installed yesterday. I'm not going to get on all that. I'll share the picture.
Yeah?
I'll share the picture for next week. I'll
Okay,
share it
good.
with you.
Maybe make it our photo from the field.
It's some big old windows.
Maybe something we could actually know what it is. So the eagle flew right into this window and shattered it. And, man, and that's an expensive window to replace. I hope they have eagle insurance. Euler said it's unusual for an eagle to crash through a window, but birds colliding with windows happens all the time. So that's pretty much it. Oh, she did say this. This is interesting. Ultraviolet coating on your windows can help keep birds from running and flying into them. They don't run; they'll fly.
Right.
Did you know that? I didn't know that. Ultraviolet coatings.
Okay.
I'm gonna add that.
That's one of the things we learned, huh?
Ultraviolet coatings.
Yes.
So that would be like things that maybe I wonder if Screamobile or anything like that.
That's
screens would probably help.
When you said, yeah, because they do have the ultraviolet screens. I mean, to where it doesn't have the glare, and also those screens would work.
Absolutely. Let's go to our next story.
Oh,
There's
I
more eagle.
didn't know
There are
we
the
had
cops.
more with Eagle.
There are the cops on the scene to arrest the eagle.
Yeah.
All right, next story. This is a cool story. Nick and Lisa Tim, they're in Okanogan, Washington.
Okay.
They're renovating their future home with their new business. And they found a 60-foot mural underneath the plaster covering the walls. Isn't that cool?
That is.
Can you imagine finding? I see a lot when you tear down like drywall or something, especially in older homes.
Yeah.
Where you can I've seen it where I climb up into the attics where they've had a drop ceiling. You can see the old wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. They bought this 150-year-old former theater at the end of last year, and they were renovating it. They said they were just about to cover up the walls, and all of a sudden they noticed, what's behind this plaster? And they discovered it's 60 feet long. They tore down all the plaster, as you can see in the photo behind me. 60-foot long, 20-foot tall landscape mural, and they actually found that there's one on each side of this business. So crew members suggested that they could find that matching mural on the opposite wall, and they did. The Okanogan County Historical Society did their homework, and they were able to dig up a 1915 newspaper clip on the theater, which was previously known as the Hub Theater. It was a theater, and they had, in the article, they had plans for the murals included. So the Tims say they want to have the murals restored.
Yeah. Those are nice.
Those are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the couple has started a crowdfunding campaign to raise money for that. So reach out to them, see if you can help them out. They're hoping to have the renovations finished by March. The plans are to open a bar and a local meeting space called the Red Light Bar.
Okay.
They could preserve the murals. That would be awesome. You know what? This is kind of cute. This has nothing to do with the murals. The Red Light Bar, you know what it's you know why they're calling it the Red Light Bar? It's in homage to the town's single traffic light.
Oh, okay.
'Cause it's a small town in
Okay.
Washington. So that's pretty cool. Neato, huh?
Mm-hmm. I thought we had a joke coming.
No,
No.
I didn't have time to write any comedy for this show. Although I do have a joke that I wrote down I heard this week. Maybe we can get to that later. Our next story, speaking of really cool places, this probably is one of my favorite homes. Like, we every week we cover houses, unique homes, things like that. One of my favorite social media stops is Zillow Gone Wild. You see some really interesting listings. This is probably one of my favorites that we've covered on the show. This is a house, as you see behind us, folks who are listening to the podcast. You can check our video out on YouTube and Facebook Live, and our clips that we post on Facebook and such. This is just a typical fenced-in 2-story house located. I'll go ahead and tell you the address in case you want to go out there. 3970 Spencer Street in Las Vegas.
Okay.
This listing is going viral, and it's not because of what you see in this picture. It's because it's 2 miles from the Strip, so it has a good location.
Yeah.
5,000 square feet and a 450 square foot guest house on the property. So it's pretty nice. It's got a good sized lot, but that's not the reason why it's selling for millions of dollars. Do you know why? The home is equipped with a 15,000 square foot underground bunker. Super cool. How much fun is that?
Ugh.
It's located around 25 feet underground. And that's, Shane's pulling up pictures of, I guess you guys decided to pull up the one that had the dance floor and the stripper pole on it.
Claire's the one that did it, not me.
All right, so this underground bunker, the pictures that you are seeing right now are the renovated version of it. We've got pictures of it before it was renovated. It was built in 1978. It was made out of concrete. 20 vertical steel beams are added to the structure for support. It could become a potential underground nightclub. How cool is that? Here's the problem, though.
What you got?
I think the fire marshal would probably have something to say.
Yeah, I don't think the egress is going to be...
That would be... that would... I don't know. I wonder how you would get around that, or if...
I don't think you can.
I don't... 25 feet underground?
Unless you build a tunnel at one end to get...
Yeah.
Or a tunnel on both ends, I don't know how that would work.
Like escape hatches.
Yes.
And just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, it's decked out with the sky and landscape murals that you see. Speaking of murals from our last story, the murals, and there's a swimming pool, a simulated yard, as you can see there.
Yeah.
And they painted the murals to make it look like you're outside. And they did a really good job of lighting it to kind of make it feel like it's outside. Yeah. And the lights will actually dim based on the time of day.
Okay.
So you kind of feel like
it's getting to be nighttime.
Isn't that neat?
Mm-hmm.
Has a special daytime lighting mode to match the bunker with the outside world. 5 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms, 2 3/4 bathrooms, a laundry, a family room, and a wood-burning fireplace. Other amenities include a spa, a waterfall, and barbecue.
I'm really wondering what's in the house above ground.
It's a big 5,000. It's a normal house, I guess. You know what's funny? I have all these pictures of this listing.
Yeah.
I didn't pull any picture. I don't recall seeing any pictures of the house. All of the pictures are of this.
Bunker.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'll have to go back and look. The property is listed. How much do you think?
Oh, gosh. 15,000-foot bunker, right?
Mm-hmm. And a 5,000 square foot house. And a guest
Las
house.
Vegas.
And I should have an overview. It's the lot that it's on is at least 2 or maybe even 3 sizes of the lots around it.
Okay. I'm going to go $25 million.
Oh, you're not far, actually.
What
do
you
you
got?
think, Claire? 26. She's going over.
She's playing Price is Right.
The answer is $18 million is what they have it. It includes furnishing, and the furnishings are included in the price. This is an interesting thing. Stephen LaForge is a listing agent. He's with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. He says the property previously sold for $1.15 million back in 2015. That's a big difference.
1.15 to 18?
Uh-huh. And he's saying that it's likely due to the fact that the banks didn't know what was underneath. So they probably
might have bought it out of
sold
foreclosure or something like that? Ooh.
And had no idea that the bunkers are underneath. Isn't that cool?
That's crazy.
He said if you could build it today, it'd be twice as much. There are just zero comparables.
Yeah, I'm sure the appraiser would have a hard time on that one.
That would be rough.
Find me some comps.
There's a we'll have to share the listing on our social media, because one of the pictures that I have that isn't on or behind us is one of the kitchen.
Yeah,
and it's the kitchen. It's always the kitchens and the bathrooms that date a house that you could tell. Oh, and the kitchen is total 1970s. You got to see it. But what they did is when they purchased it, the current owners actually restored it to the way that it was. So I think that's pretty cool. Well, with the exception, I guess, of the disco ball and the stripper ball and the what is it? What did they do? The parquet floor out there, for the dance floor. That wasn't there, but that's pretty. They also had. There's one photo that has. I want to say, I may be wrong. I have to go back and look. Y'all have to check it out. It's really cool. There's out by the pool. There's a huge rock, looks like it's just a huge rock, but the top of it opens up, and if I recall correctly, you open it up and. It's a DJ. It's a DJ thing. You got
they got 2 turntables?
2 turntables.
And a microphone?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that it would normally, I guess something like that would be a grill, but you don't want to be grilling down there.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a good
suck.
idea. Yeah.
But
it might smoke out your bunker.
But that's so super cool. But yeah, so if you're in the Las Vegas area, do us a favor. Go by the house and take some photos for us. Give us a video tour. That'd be sweet.
Absolutely.
I'd love to share it. So it would be interesting to follow this one, just like all these other listings we have, to see what happens with it. So we got more to share next week. This was an odd week. Every week I'm always like, most weeks, I'm usually like, what do we have for the news? I had tons. I had to reject some stories, so some of those we'll save for next week. We'll get to that because we're running out of time, and it's about that time of the show that we get to talk about all those things that we learned.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Brought to you by RIC Home Inspections. Of course, at RIC, we are focused on helping you learn about your house, and just so for the folks that are out there watching, know that's what I do for a living. I've had a couple of folks recently tell me, I thought you stopped doing home inspections. I thought you were doing that radio show. Well, apparently you don't watch the radio show. But what did we learn on the show today, Shane? We'll start off with we don't know the photo from the field.
We should figure that one out.
So hopefully we'll get an answer to that one. That's the one thing. That's one thing that we are humble enough to know. We're humble enough to admit if we don't know something, we'll tell you. And that one was a mystery. We'll see if we can figure it out. Give us time. It's important to be a certified home inspector. That's what Paul Adwar taught us. He's a member of the California Association of Realtors. They do a lot of work to certify their crews. Their inspectors and their realtors, fingerprints and background checks and all that stuff. It's pretty impressive. And he's with, that's Paul Adwar with 21st Century Home Inspections. I'll give him one last plug. 21centuryhomeinspection.com is his company. So thanks for calling in, Paul. Also, we learned about the Impemba Effect.
Impemba?
And that's the effect. I don't know if it's a theory. It's an effect. Do we call it a theory or a hypothesis? Or that hot water freezes. It's an attempt to explain. Well, no. Okay. The way I got it is the Impemba Effect identifies the fact that hot water freezes faster than cold water. And then we tried to get to the bottom of why. 3 ways. Some folks think it's because of the evaporation of the hot water. The hot water has less gas in it. And different temperatures cause a convection current that could cause it to freeze.
Right.
It's not necessarily a distance between temperatures, it's how fast it gets there that we're talking about. So we learned about that. We learned Ed Nye is a bagpipe instructor. That's pretty cool. And we also learned that ultraviolet coatings can keep bald eagles from hitting your window and other birds. So if that's a problem around your house, go ahead and call the window tinting people. They should be able to help you out. Or screens. Screens could help too. Screen Mobile.
Screen Mobile.
Yeah.
Be glad to put some screens on there to keep the
it.
birds away.
That's it. Yeah. And that's also it for the Home Pros Radio Show this week. Thanks for watching. We're going to be coming right back at you next week. We're going to continue our conversation about freezing water as we talk about protecting your pipes from freezing and how to react when they do freeze. And if you have any other questions, comments, or suggestions, let us know. Give us a call at this number.
It's 248-466-3776.
Leave us a recording there on our comment line. Also, you can send us an email, ask@homeprosradio.com. Thanks for watching again. Follow us, subscribe everywhere you find social media. There we are at Home Pros Radio. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. If you have a question for the Home Pros, visit us online at homeprosradio.com, where you can also catch our podcast episodes and learn more about the topics and guests we bring to you each week. The Home Pros Radio Show is made possible by Prime Lending, RIC Home Inspections, Closing Contractor, Radon Recon, and Carolina Heating Service. If you are a trusted service provider in our area and would like to contribute to the show, send us a message through our Contact Us page at homeprosradio.com. Once again, thanks for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show.